Hey everyone, it's Jody here. I hope everyone's doing well. Happy holidays. I got my Santa tie on because my family and I celebrate Christmas. So here we go. So I get dressed up a little bit so I can show off my tie. It's pretty much why I dressed up today. Anyway, I'm going to get into what I want to talk about in this video, which is my GSA talk that I did on December 17th at a local high school. And I just want to first start off that it is really cool to see how much this area has grown since I was growing up. I graduated from the city that I live in, and so I know like the schools and stuff like that I've had this GSA talk to. I didn't go to that school; it was like the biggest rival, but we won't get into that. And then I did a GSA talk at my actual high school I graduated from that I did back in September time frame that I didn't unfortunately make a video about. But so I got asked by my friend that had invited me to the first GSA talk that I did to talk about being trans and just kind of open up that conversation and tell people my story, these high school students my story. And so she got a hold of me when the students at her GSA at this other high school wanted to know like the importance on pronouns and how to navigate when you're unsure of someone's gender identity. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. I feel honored to do that. And so I went up there, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't have a presentation or PowerPoint or anything like that. I was like, I'm just going to wing it because kind of the dialogue, the email conversation wasn't really happening between the teacher and I. So I was like, I'll just do it on the fly. And so I opened up the conversation because some of them had actually seen me talk at the Transgender Day of Remembrance that I did on my college campus. And so I opened it up, and we talked about what it was like for me being a trans man and living in a conservative area, and how I feel about that, and how I kind of manage that. And I briefly said, typically people don't really think of me as anything other than a man unless I tell them. I blend in really well, and so I don't really think about being trans a lot of times in the community, except for like when I have to actually tell somebody my business, and then I get a little worried. Just because you don't ever know how people are going to react. And then we talked about like transphobic, homophobic things like at work, in the workplace, especially being in high school, and how that can be problematic. And so we talked about that, and my best advice was, if you've mentioned to these coworkers that it bothers you and they haven't stopped, then the next level is to say something to management. Look at what your work's non-discrimination acts are, and kind of go and have a conversation with some people that are higher up. And then they asked me about supporting like their partner. One girl is dating a trans man, and so she asked me some advice on how to support him because he gets very frustrated with his family that's unsupportive, and he takes it out on her. And so my best advice was to let him know that, and that you support him, and that you understand where he's coming from. And then just to kind of have that open dialogue there about how it's making you feel in the relationship. And then we talked about, we didn't get on the importance of and pronouns, but I kind of, got a roundabout way to it because we got stuck on gender nonconforming individuals or not knowing people's gender identity and how they identify themselves. And so I said, well, one, it can be difficult, and so they might be questioning their gender identity, so maybe they can't give you that information currently. And then so my default was, if you're unsure and you are not comfortable enough with the person to ask them what they go by, to either one, just call them by their name, or kind of listen to the conversations that of other people that know this person really well, and to see how they are identifying them and go based on that, or go by gender neutral pronouns, which is they, their, them. It can sound really odd at first, but it will work out. Or, yeah, my best default was just to refer to them by their name, because that's safe bet straight across the board typically, or how you're introduced to them by that name. And then I sat down with the teacher, and we had a conversation about how I've noticed changes since I grew up here, what I would want other teachers to know in high school about the LGBT community, especially like the trans community. And then through that conversation, she asked me to actually help her do a presentation with just faculty members, which I thought was really cool. And then we kind of all together brainstormed some ideas on how to get more students involved in GSA. And my recommendation was, hey, just be kind of be like, hey, you want to come to this meeting with me? And you don't have to participate. You can just listen and then just try and come a couple of times and see how it goes. And then maybe eventually they'll start coming on their own, and then they'll tell other people about it. And even if they don't come again, they're still going to tell their other friends about it. And so you just kind of get that kind of chain of events happening, which is always a good thing. And then maybe more people will come. And there you go. And that's how you spread the word. And then I gave them some ideas for March for Trans Visibility Month. And then maybe doing their own like Transgender Day of Remembrance posters, do posters for trans visibility, that kind of thing. And so we will see how it all develops. But this is really exciting to say. I was a little nervous when I first started doing presentations when I was pre-T, but it's kind of a lot of fun. I really actually enjoy kind of building this community and having them gain some understanding and knowledge about the trans community, because it's not very well known in this area. So I appreciate every aspect I get to talk about it and educating people. And I'm going to cut the video short here. So I want to say one more time, happy holidays, and I will see you next time, all right? Peace.